So let's see what I start with. I think I'm going to start with the word problems. So some of you got to do some of these in class. These are two-step equation word problems. So, but I guess they can serve as like a reference for you to use when coming up with your own. Remember, you have to create your own equation, your own word problem that matches one of the equations that you created. So I will start with this one. So again, I just bought these new apples called Cosmic apples. They're supposed to be a hybrid of the Honey Crisp and some other apple. Not bad. A little more tart. So the unknown is the miles, right? That's what we need to find. How many miles can you drive? So that's my variable. The relationship between the variable and the number is 0.12. So we have 0.12 per mile. There's also plus. Here's my plus 20 equals 80. That's my equation. Now you get to solve it. Okay. Some of you have written 20M. 20M. This says 12 cents per mile, so it's obviously 0.12 times m. It can't be 20 times m because it's not a relationship here. There. It's minus 20, minus 20. These two go away. You got 60 left over. 0.12 m comes down. You're going to divide both sides by 0.12. And I believe m equals 500 miles, right? So you were able to drive, is that 500 miles? Alexa, what's 60 divided by 0.12?
60 divided by 0.12 is 500.
Yeah. So how far can he drive? The context of this story, he wants to spend $80, right? So he's able to drive $500 for this car rental. Okay. Oops. Next one. When 12 is subtracted from, so here we go. So I'm going to translate that literally. 12 is subtracted from 3 times a number that I don't know. The result is 24. The only thing I mentioned in class was subtracted from. Right? Be careful here. Turnaround words, and we're going to actually rewrite this equation as 3n minus 12. So these two switch positions. Equals 24. Now it becomes very simple. We'll do plus 12 on both sides. You can do that story if you like. This 12 and 12, minus 12 and 12 go away. 3n equals 36. We're going to divide by 3, and n equals 12. So that number is 12. I forgot to do the check for the first one, so I'm going to do the check for this one. So 3n minus 12 equals 24. Now we replace the n with a 12. 3 times 12 is 36. Minus 12 equals 24. And 24 equals 24. So let's make, here are all the muffins Jill made, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 muffins, right? So she took all the muffins and she puts them in boxes, right? And you have 2 left over. So you have 20 muffins, which I'm going to write as 20. And if you subtract, so the 20 boxes from this quantity, right? You put them in boxes. You subtract 3 minus 3 boxes. You get 2 left over. Solve this. I'm gonna let me rewrite this a little neater. My variable is b, which is being multiplied by -3 here. Be careful. That minus sign belongs to 3. And then if you cover this for a second, if you just cover this 20 has nothing in front, right? So the sign is positive, right? So it's plus 20. equals 2. Going backwards, we're going to do minus 20 and then divide by negative 3. So those are just two steps that we're going to use to solve this. So minus 20, minus 20. Negative 3b equals negative 18. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. b equals 6. Check. 20 minus 3 times 6 equals 2, right? I replace the b with 6. 20 minus 18 equals 2, and 2 equals 2, so we're good. If you multiply a number, do I know what number that is? By 3? Here's my number, I'm going to multiply by 3. Subtract 5, I will get 40. So that's your equation. My variable's n is being multiplied by 3 minus 5 equals 40. Going backwards, I'm going to do plus 5 and then divide by 3. So plus 5 from both sides. Here's my line, sorry. That goes away. 3n equals 45. Now I'm told to divide both sides by 3. And n equals 9. Check. 3 times 9 minus 5 equals 40. Oops. That's wrong. N equals 15. So let me rewrite this because 45 times divided by 3 is 15. So we're going to get 3 times 15, right? I replace this n. It's 15 minus 5 equals 40. 3 times 5 is 45. Minus 5 equals 40. And then 45 minus 5 is 40, which equals to 40 on the other side. 5. This one is easy. So, not easy, I'm sorry. It doesn't, well, let me just do it. So, Joe bought 2 sports cars at $8.95 each, right? So, if you, 2 sports cars times 8.95, so how much are you spending already? You're spending, $17.90, right? Because you bought 2 sports cars. So that's how much you're spending. And then you also bought some paint. So let's write the equation. So you spent $17.90 for 2 sports cars plus some paint, and that all equal $23.65. So how much did you spend paint? Well, that's easy, right? If your total was $23.65 and you subtract this, so again, even if you did your story, you have your variable p. What's happening to p? The only thing that's happening to p is plus 17.90 equals 23.65. Going backwards, you're going to subtract 17.90. So that's all you have to do. It's a one-step equation, actually. Minus 17.90 minus 17.90. These two go away. P comes down, and you are 5, 16 minus 9 is 7, that becomes a 12, right? You borrowed, and 12 minus 5, 7 is 5, and that's it. So how much did you spend on paint? You spent $5.75 on paint, which if you want to check now, you have that equation, right? 17.90 equals 23.65, and you're going to add plus 5.75. If you add those two, does it give you 23.65? It does, which equals to 23.65 on the other side. But as far as answering the question, the cost of the paints was $5.75. 6. Okay, so you're buying a car. Making a down payment means that you don't pay for the whole car at once, but you give him some money, right? And then the rest, you're going to divide it into 36 equal payments. You're going to pay it every month. You're going to pay a little bit, right? So the total amount of the car was $7,500. Right? So how much did you pay already? Well, you paid $3,000. So what else are you going to pay? So we want to know how much we paid per month, right? How many months are there? Well, there's 36 months. That's my equation. 36 times an amount that I paid every month plus the $3,000 that I gave initially should equal my car value. So variable is M times 36 plus 3,000 equals 7,500. And going backwards, we're going to do minus 3,000 and then divide by 36. So minus 3,000 minus 3,000. That makes sense, right? Because the car was 7,500. So you gave them 3,000 already. So you were left with 4,500. Right? So you gave them 3,000 and you said, I want to pay the rest in 36 months. And every month I'm going to pay a certain amount. And that's, so they're going to take the 4,500 and they're going to divide by 36, right? And they're going to say, Alexa, 4,500 divided by 36.
4,500 divided by 36 is 125.
That's your monthly payment. Every month you get to pay the car dealer $125 per month. Well, you can always check. So here's my 36, which I'm going to multiply by 125. Add 3,000 equals 7,500, right? So my original equation, I replaced the M was 125. And that's going to give me 4,500 plus 3,000 equals 7,500. Is this the same thing as the other side? Yes, it is. So we're good. All right, so Kendra's buying bottled water for the class trip. She has 16 bottles left from her last trip. She buys bottles by the case to get a good price. Each case has 24 bottles. How many cases will she have to buy? She wants to have a total of 160 bottles. So she wants to have a total of 160. So we know that goes on that side, right? How many cases does she need to? So she needs to go to the supermarket and buy a few cases of waters. But one thing he knows, she already has 16, so she doesn't have to buy all that many, right? So what's my variable? Well, my variable is C for case. That's what I'm trying to find out. And in every case has how many water bottles? 24. So that's going to determine how many cases we need to buy. That's my equation. Again, variable is C times 24 plus 16 equals 160. Going backwards, we're going to do minus 16 and then divide by 24. So minus 16, minus 16. These two go away. 24C equals 144, I believe. And then divide by 24. Divide by 24. C equals 6. Yeah. So how many cases does she need to buy? She needs to buy 6 cases. So again, all these problems that we're doing is so that you can obviously solve a two-step word problem here, and as well as hopefully help you create one. So to check, 24 times C, 6 plus 16 equals 160. I replace the C here with 6. So 24 times 6 is 144. And 144 plus 16 is 160, which is equal to the 160 on the other side. Again, we're okay so far. And I don't know which one. So we had this one to do, right? So 2 more. Now this one here, I think the tricky part on this was if you were able to see that this is the same thing as this. 3/5 of x equals -6. So that's, I think, what you needed to see. Once you know that, if you create a story, I have a variable x which is being multiplied by 3/5, and that gives me -6. That's what that says, right? So going backward, I'm going to divide by 3/5. What's division? Remember, dividing fractions. Dividing fractions, when you divide fractions, you're actually multiplying by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3. So I'm going to multiply that side by 5/3 and multiply that side by 5/3. Hopefully you can remember that. So 5 and 5 canceled out. All that becomes 1, right? And 1 times x is just x. On this side, Let me put this over 1. So if you multiply the top, you get negative 6 times 5, which is negative 30 over 3, right? Because 1 times 3 is 3. And negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. So that's my answer. If I check, again, so if I check, I'm going to replace this x here with negative 10. So instead of x, I'm going to write negative 10 over here. And hopefully that's going to give me negative 6. Well, we put this over 1. 3 times 10, or negative 10, is negative 30. And negative 30 divided by 5 is indeed negative 6. So good to know. That's good. Here's my story again. This variable x multiplied by negative 5 add 10 equals 35. Going backwards here, we're going to do minus 10 and then divide by negative 5. So minus 10, minus 10. These two go away. Negative 5x comes down, and I get 25. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, x equals. Positive divided by negative is a negative, and 25 divided by 5 is 5, so that's my answer. Check. I'm going to get 10 minus 5, and instead of x, I'm going to write negative 5 equals 35. Well, let's do this in order. And negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, which is 35, and you can tell that left side equals right side. Okay, so again, this is, why is this, looks like this is repetitive. So this one looks like the one I did in class with you guys. Scott wants to buy a scooter that's $129, so something like this equals to $129. So that number here is 24 more than means addition, 3 times whatever he saved last month, and just let's put M for month. So how much did he save each month? Well, minus 24, minus 24. I'm not even doing the story here. 3. This goes away. 3M comes down, and this becomes 105. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. M equals M equals 3, 9, 15, 31. Really? No? 5, 35. Sorry. M equals 35. So how much did he save last month? He saved $35. Check. We take the original equation, we place the M, so it's 24. I'm going to change colors. 24 plus 3 times 35 equals 129. We're going to make sure that that's true. Well, we got 24 plus, and 3 times 35 is 105. 105 plus 24 is 129 on both sides. Good. Last one, Miss Violet's buying granola bars for her students. She already has 16 granola bars in her desk and needs a total of 100. So I know that it has to give you 100. But when you go to the supermarket, the granola bars are sold in packs of 12. You can't just buy one. So you have to buy packs of 12. How many packs or boxes does she need to purchase for her students? Well, she already has 12. So I'm going to write plus 12, right? Because that's what it means. I already have 12. So how many more do I need? Either packs or boxes. Let's use boxes. How many in each box? So my unknown is B for boxes, because that's what I want to know. And I know there's 12 per box. Plus the 12 that I already have, I have to equals 100. So that's my equation. Minus 12, minus 12. Variables B, being multiplied by 12. Add 12 equals 100. Going backwards, we're going to do minus 12 and then divide by 12. This goes away. That becomes, I have no idea, 88. Yeah. This becomes 12b. Divide by 12. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's my mistake. That's not, it's supposed to be 16. That's how much you have. 16, right? Sorry. So it's minus 16 on both sides. That's my mistake. These goes away. 12b comes down. 100 minus 16 is 84. Now we divide by 12. We divide by 12 and b equals 7. So how many boxes does she need? She's going to need 7 boxes. So 12 times 7 plus 16 equals 100. I replace this. 12 times 7 is 84. Plus 16 equals 100. And that gives you 100 equals 100. Maybe no. We're good. So that's the two-step equation problems, word problems. So you can use these. Again, I wanted you to use some of these to help you create an equation. And what's the second part we have to do? Second part we have to do, is these. I don't think I'm going to, well, I can. I don't think I'm. So again, remember to please self-assess, right? Look at your problems. What grade would you give yourself after solving them? So, I know the sheet I gave you didn't have anything, so it's okay. So I'll just use the ones that are here. So you're supposed to, again, create your own equation. So it says multiply a variable by something, then add or subtract. So I'm going to use a equals 14. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to make my own. I'm going to write a equals 6. I multiply both sides by, I don't know, 3. So I'm going to get 3a. And on this side, 3 times 6 is 18. Then I'm going to add or subtract, and I'm going to subtract, I don't know, 25. I'm going to subtract 25 from each side. So on this side, I get 3a minus 25. And on this side, remember, sorry, let me write times 3 here for you guys, so minus 25. On this side, I'm going to do 18 minus 25. And if you do 18 minus 25, that's going to give you negative 7. So, negative 7. That's my equation. Nothing else I have to do. Solve and check. So I'm going to take that equation, 3a minus 25 equals negative 7. And I'm going to solve it. Right? So if you make your little story, you have a variable a, which is being multiplied by 3, and then subtract 25, and that gives you negative 7. Going backwards, we're going to do plus 25 first, and then divide by 3. So let's do that. Plus 25. Plus 25, negative 7 plus 25 is 18. These two go away. 3a comes down. Notice the similarity here, right? What do you think I'm going to do next? Well, the next thing I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. And a equals 6. So what? Look at how I solved, and look here. Right? So now I have to do a check. I'm going to take 3a, instead of the a, I'm going to put a 6. Minus 25 equals negative 7. Right, I replace the a. 3 times 6 is 18. Minus 25 equals negative 7. And that gives you a negative 7. So I created my equation, I solved it, and I checked it. Yeah, let's do this one. So I'm going to just cross that out, and I'm going to go b equals, I don't know, 42. I divide the variable by something, so let's divide, well, I want a nice, 42, numbers that can be divisible by 2, 6, 2, 3, 7. Let's divide this by 7. So I'm going to write that I'm going to divide this side by 7, and divide this side by 7. So I'm going to get b over 7 equals 42 divided by 7 equals 6. Now it says add or subtract. In this case, I'm going to add, I don't know, let's add 2. B over 7 plus 2. And on this side, I'm going to add 6 plus 2. It's going to give me 8. That's it. I can stop right here. Make your story, right? Because we want to solve and check. So b over 7 plus 2 equals 8. Our story says that you have a variable b, which is being divided by 7, plus 2 equals 8. Going backwards is minus 2, and then times 7. So, first thing we do is minus 2 over here, minus 2 over here. These two go away. A minus 2 is 6, and b over 7. Second thing I do is multiply both sides by 7. So I'm going to go times 7, times 7. This and this cross out. And b equals 6 times 7 is, again, 42. Notice that this and this are exactly the same. So we're good so far. Check. Let me do a check over here. B, so it's 42 over 7 plus 2 equals 8, right? So I replace the B with 42. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 plus 2 equals 8. And yes, we have it all there. So you have these examples and the examples in your notebook to do it. I'll do 2 more. This one, let's pick C equals, I don't know, 14. Add or subtract something to both sides. Let's subtract 2. Let's keep it simple. So C minus 2 and 14 minus 2 is 12. Then multiply by something. So let's multiply by, I don't know, by 8 times 8. So on this side, 12 times 8 is 96. On this side, remember, everybody, right? 8 times C is 8C. Minus 8 times 2 is 16. So that's my equation right here. There's nothing else they're asking me to do. I'm going to solve and check that one. So here I have my variable 8, my C, sorry, which is being multiplied by 8. Subtract 16 equals 96. Plus 16 and then divide by 8. Those are the two inverse operations I'm going to do. So plus 16, plus 16. Crosses out. That becomes 12, 10, 1, 12, and 8C. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. The 8's go away, right? Because it becomes 1. And see, 8 times 112 divided by 8 is 14. And notice that this and this matches. Check. It's 8 times 14, right? Because I'm replacing the C with the value 14. Minus 16 equals 96. Let's see if that's true. 8 times 14 is 2, 3, 112. Minus 16 equals 96. Is 112 minus 16 96? Yes, it is. So my left side and my right side match. So far we've done 3 equations. We're going to do 2 more. I'm going to only do 1 more. Let me do E because E is the longer one. And then you're free. Or I'm free. Let's pick E equals, I don't know, E equals 20. So we want to do the distributive property, combine like terms, and add or subtract the variable. So I got a long way to go before I can do any of that. So E equals 20, I am going to, I don't know, add. So let's add 12 to both sides. That becomes E plus 12. 20 plus 12 becomes 32. Let me times this. Let me times this by 2 on both sides. I time 2 by both sides. 32 times 2 is 64. And on this side, right, I get 2 times E, which is 2E, plus and 2 times 12, which is 24. Now that I'm at this stage, I can finally do what my question is asking me to do, which is the distributive property. I can change this. The distributive property, can I take something out? Yeah, I can take the 2 out. So I'm rewriting this equation with distributive property. So E goes in here because 2 times E is 2E. That checks. And 2 times what's 24? Well, it'd be 12. Good. So now I already have a an equation that has distributive property. Combine like terms and add or subtract a variable before you consider. So let's add a variable. I'm gonna go 2E plus 12, and I'm gonna add plus 5E. Plus 5E on this side, and I'm gonna go 64 plus 3E plus 2E. Why did I do that? Only because just to make it a little bit less boring. So here's my equation. One long equation. Alright, so again, I added 5E on the left side, and on the right side isn't 3E plus 2E 5, so I just broke it up 2 parts. So do I have everything? Do I have combine like terms? Do I have add or subtract a variable before I can solve it? Well, let's write the whole equation out. So I get 2E plus 12 plus 5E equals 64 plus 3E plus 2E. Step 1, do the distributive property. Well, let's do that. 2E plus 24 plus 5e equals 64 plus 3e plus 2e. So I did the distributive property. Check. Is there combined like terms? Yes, there is. There's a lot of combined like terms. So on the left side, I can combine the 2e and the 5e, which is 7e plus 24. On the right side, I can combine this too, right? I get 64 plus 5e. Check. That's also a check. I did combine like terms. So I have an equation where I can do this distributive property. I combine like terms. Is this equation an equation where I have to take care of one of the variables? Well, yes, it is, because I have a variable on the left side and a variable on the right side. So one of them have to go. So let's get rid of the smaller one. So let's get rid of the 5e. Minus 5e. Minus 5e on the right side. Left side, I mean. So these two go away. 64 comes down. 7e minus 5e is 2e plus 24. Notice that this and this are getting similar, right? So now, if you do your story, it's going to tell you to do minus 24 here, minus 24 here. So these two go away, and you get 2e equals 40. Right? And then you're supposed to divide by 2, and e equals 20. Didn't we start with this right here? So we created an equation, and just to make sure everything was right, we actually solved it and ended up back to e equals 20, which is what we started with. So I'm not doing all of them, so I skipped letter D because it's pretty much very similar to letter E. But you have 1, A, B, C, D. You have 5 equations that you created. And then you're going to pick one of the equations above. I don't really care which one, A, B, C, D, or E. Pick one. Write a word problem, right, like the ones we did in class today and I just did on the video. Create a word problem, solve and check, okay, and make sure that the equation matches your word problem, okay, and that will be due Monday. That's it.